Hello friends, I'm Christopher, and this is the story of what happened when I let my YouTube viewers name my garden. Okay, let's jump right on in. This all started on April 1st. It was not an April Fool's joke. I started doing my weekly garden tour series, and at the end, I came up with this question. I would like, and riddle me this, tell me what you think. I think I'd like to give the garden a name. You know, like the Midwest garden, but that's kind of bland, you know. I was watching some other videos this winter. What's the one like? There's rooted and something garden, or the rustic garden, or the blah 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 garden. I think it would be fun to have a name for said garden, you know, my whimsical spiel. It was a good idea. I've got engaged viewers. They're smart people. I learn things from what comments are left down below, and I thought, you know, YouTube encourages content that has people leaving comments and leaving likes, and I'm all about creative placemaking, and creating a name for the garden is a good idea too, you know? So people went to it right away, and I started getting lots of suggestions. I kept this going throughout the entire month of April. There were 5 garden tours, starting with week 0, which was the base point, going through week 4. And at the end of every single one of them, I asked people to leave a suggestion for what they thought in the comments down below. Sometime mid-month, a person by the name of Daniel left this comment. And I was like, okay, that's creative. In fact, I even called it out at the end of another video. There's been some really creative submissions so far, and I'm honored that you watched the first video to the end to actually hear my request for suggestions. And you know, it was at that moment when I thought, this is going to be one of those wonky things where that's going to get a lot of votes, and it's going to be included in my initial selection, and that's going to be the winner. You know, you remember that story of there was a ship, I think it was, in England, and people got to vote on what it was going to be called, and it got named something ridiculous? I just had a feeling that's what it was going to be. So, May 1st came around, and as promised to my viewers, I put out a poll. And of the 15 or so suggestions that were left in the comments, I picked what I thought were the top 5. Some of them were like a best of the best for categories that were similar. Like I chose the purple peekaboo garden as an option because there were 3 or 4 different purple something combinations that were left. I'm like, okay, that one probably has the best chance of drawing people to it. You get what I mean. And of course, at the end, I put Bill. It was a wild ride. When the votes started coming in, I couldn't tell what was going to win. It wasn't a runaway from the get-go. In fact, it really wasn't decided until the very end. The only garden tour that I mentioned the poll being open was the first garden tour on May 6th. And at that point, it was pretty much between the Oshkosh Oasis and Bill. Special thanks to everybody who has voted on the poll for the name of the garden. We've got about 70 votes in, and it's pretty much down to between Oshkosh Oasis and Bill. And I'm closing the poll tomorrow, and I gotta admit, I kinda want Bill to win. I decided to give 24 hours from the time that that video went live until I officially looked at the votes, and in the end it came down to Bill. So shout out to Daniel who suggested this pretty nonchalantly, and I'm happy to say that there's another Bill in the world. Isn't that great? I guess a shout out to my wife's students as well. She's a choir director, and all the boys in her men's group, when she was reading out the suggestions, they pretty much unanimously voted for Bill. So although all of them didn't necessarily vote online, I did take that into consideration. You know, it's really funny actually. after a while, I really wanted Bill to win. I just never expected it, you know? This is a place, this garden space, my 36 by 36 garden in the middle of the city, and I thought it was going to have like a location title to it. I really thought that Oshkosh Oasis or the Garden of Tranquility or the Garden Gate or something was going to be the winner, because that's what a lot of YouTube gardens are named after. But nope, the proper noun ended up being the winner. So now I get to hear things like my wife is going to tell me when I'm getting ornery in the house, go spend some time with Bill, which means go out in your garden. Or I can say, oh, you know, I'm gonna go have a drink with my buddy Bill. And that'll be me having my morning coffee out in the garden. It's kind of cool, you know? It's like when people, when you're in college and you say you're going to the library, but the library is a name for a bar. Kind of the situation here. So not necessarily a warning, but just a comment to anyone thinking of doing this. If you're going to leave it up to your viewers to leave comments for suggestions of names, and then you put together a poll, they are probably going to pick the most ridiculous one. Yeah, that's that. So there you have it. What do you think of my garden named Bill? And has anything like this happened to you? What a great story. Thanks a lot to everybody who participated. And I hope you enjoy the garden named Bill for the rest of its life. Take care.